Good morning, everyone. This is Aya from Hinawi Software. As you can see here in front of me, I have Hinawi Software desktop application opened, and also I'm logged in from the admin account. Our topic for today is really important. It's basically a combination of an overview and in-depth with some parts which are very important and crucial. So at the end of the video, you will understand and you will realize where exactly is the inventory located in Hinawi Software, how to use it, the different places Hinawi Software ERP contains about it, how to actually see the reports regarding it, and to understand the linking point between it and with QuickBooks in some cases, as well as understand what some fields mean and what some ticks means. So basically it will be having several fields, several checklists, several places where you gotta fill in order to use the inventory easily and smoothly among the different modules of Hinawi Software. It all starts with the lists menu. So you first go to the lists menu, and then from here you click on the items list. So inventory, in order to view more about the inventory, this is the first step which we should follow. And then from here, all you have to do among all these item codes or names is click on any of them, and then you click on, let's maximize this a little bit, you click on item, and then you click on new. So from here, as we can see, we have so many different types and tabs, and all we have to do is to fill or first choose the type we want in order to fill the information about it. So before we go to the other tabs right here, from the item information tab in this window, we can choose whatever type we want. This could vary, and this could be either the inventory item we're talking about, or the service, or the non-inventory part. So it's up to it's up to the user, it's up to the client, the business to choose the type they want. Let's, for example, take the inventory item. Notice that automatically when I chose this type, the window entirely changed. So basically, the information contained in this window, all the fields or the options to be selected, everything depended on the type. So when the type changed, it all changed accordingly. So from here, as we can see, we have so many different parts which we will cover now. The first one, as we can see here, is the item code or name. So in the item code or name, we can fill this, either this, that, or both of them. So the user has the flexibility to fill any of them or both of them. So this is very important to fill. And also, as you can see here, we have the quantity on hand, which will automatically display. It will read based on the information saved, entered, and everything earlier from QuickBooks, and then it will display right here the quantity on hand. So this is not manually filled, this is automatically generated, basically. Notice here that when we select this sub-item of, when we click on this, this will allow the field to be activated. So basically it will not be grayed out, it will be activated, and all these inventory items we can choose from to be like sub-item of the item, of the original item. So basically this is important. We have several ticks right here, as we can see. The first one is tick for autofill accounts. So this is used in case we want to autofill based on reading or taking from before steps. So if we care about taking any previous step and autofilling that step, in this case we autofill this option. The second one right here, as we can see, is the ticking of in case of finished or semi-finished items, basically. So this must be defined in order to be used in the manufacturing later on. So in case we want to use it in manufacturing. Notice here we have a question mark. It says that if we tick this option, it will be used in the production form. So that is a very important step. Basically, whenever there's a question mark beside any field, it means that it is warning you or telling you or giving you hints or notes or points about something which you should be aware of, basically. And then the third one right here is to change the price or not. So this will depend whether the price in the invoice is allowed to be changed or not. And notice here it's used in the garage and maintenance module. Why did it say that? Basically, why did it mention that it's only used in the garage and the maintenance? Because as we know, the inventory item is located in so many different places. We're going to see when I finish from this window. It's located in so many different places, locations in the software. Basically, we will see how it's located in the accounting, in the contracting, in the real estate, in the fixed assets. So it's located in so many different places. That's why it's very, very important. And notice here also we have the purchase information. But before we go to that, let's see here the unit of measurement. Notice that you have and must select what exactly is the unit of measurement. Is it measured in minutes, in numbers, months, stone, days, hours? So this is important and also must be selected. Of course, from here we write notes, description of whether we're talking about the purchase information or the sales information. Both of them can be described and explained here. So this is a huge field created in order for the user to take the flexibility and ease to actually fill all the description that is required. And from here, as we can see in the cost, basically this is the standard according to, of course, the company policy or the policies used. So the cost here is basically what is the standard cost in that specific place. And of course, we will notice here there is the sales price, there is the COGS account. So basically in the COGS account, this will show us the list of all the chart of accounts. So this is linked and this is connected with that, the chart of accounts. That's why it displayed all the chart of accounts for the COGS account. Basically, what other place contains the chart of account? It's the income account. So all these with accounts have linking points between them and between the chart of accounts as well. And now regarding the purchase VAT code and the sales VAT code, this is used only if the VAT, which is the value added tax, is applied basically and used in the business place or in the company. So notice here that when we see the list for the VAT code, it shows us that what exactly does each one stand for and what does it mean. So we have so many different types of codes, which can be zero rated, standard, reverse, charged, all these types of the VAT code. Same thing applies to the sales VAT code. So again, this is used only if the VAT is applied basically and used. And let's maximize this a little bit. As we can see here, notice that we have so many different parts regarding checklists right here. So we have the first one is in the inventory information, of course. The asset account is also linked with chart of accounts, so we forgot to mention that. So the three of them reads from and can be connected with chart of accounts, whether we're talking about the asset, the purchase VAT, the sales VAT. So these different parts are linked. Now let's talk about the first tick right here, which is the maximum quantity allowed in the material request. So basically the first tick right here is how much percent, which is this, to request material basically from the quantity. So how much percent is available for the quantity. We can choose whether we're talking about in percent or times. If we're talking about times or percents. But in general, you tick this if you want to talk about how much percent basically is to be requested from the material, from the quantity. And the second one also right here is to use the separate account for stock issue voucher. So this is used in case we want a different account for stock voucher other than the account which we have mentioned earlier. So this will give you the flexibility to add more than one account basically, and the system will allow that easily. And by the way, here we forgot to mention that the percent can be defined more from here. So not only you can tick this, but you can add exactly how much percent is available of the material. And finally, we have over here the using of separate account for the stock receipt voucher as well. So both of them will allow you to choose and to select the account or chart of account you want. Basically, as we can see here, there's a note. It says that the user will be able to change the selected accounts in SIV or the SRV form as per the settings. So if we want to change this, we have to follow those steps. First, we go to the file menu, and then we go to the setup modules, like since it's the core of the software and everything depends on it. And then we go to accounting and general settings, and then for the activate, we click here, don't allow to change the cost account in the form of inventory sent to the site. One more thing, notice here that if we want to link with non-inventory, which is optional, of course. So we select non-inventory item here if we are using the estimate in the system, only if we're using the estimate. So we can select that here, we can select the non-inventory part in case we're using the estimate. So this is only optional, like it's not mandatory. And notice also here that we have the batch lot number, we also have the manufactured date, we have the expired date basically. So this is also to be seen by users. And notice here it says that the batch lot number, the manufacturing date, which are these fields split above, can be entered one time only. And then after that, the system will update from the purchase form. So keep in mind that this is one-time entry, but later on the system will basically just update from the purchase form. So this is very, very important as well, and it should be taken into consideration, of course. So don't forget these checkpoints and checklists are very useful for you. They're basically in a checklist format in order for users to understand how to use them precisely and in order to understand how to use them without being or getting confused, basically. Notice here also in the custom fields, the user has the flexibility to add whatever custom fields he wants or she wants, such as expiry date, color and size. By the way, the things you see here are not related to the item information. So basically, the custom fields are just entries to be added freely by users. We also have in the third tab right here, we have the raw material. So we don't allow to edit or reduce the raw materials in the production form. In the case of the partial production, system will auto-calculate the quantity. So as we can see here, below are the raw materials to be produced 1 unit of finished items. And this will contain basically the item code name, the description, the item type, the units of measurement, quantity, standard cost, and the total. We also can customize the columns freely. And here at the end of the window, it will show you the total materials or items, the total quantity, and also the total estimated value based on the standard cost. This note is very important, is that you can only enter for inventory items, and when finished items box is ticked, meaning that when it's selected, we enter the raw materials needed for the production. So basically, this is very, very important for the finished items. The cost of calculation above is based on standard cost, which we have seen in the first tab. So this is also linked with the item information. Raw materials is linked with that. And in the manufacturing, we read the weighted average cost. Let's see here in the direct or indirect cost. As we can see, whether we're talking about direct cost or indirect cost, both of them will display the column which is required for them. In the images, the user can feel freely to add a default image or other images from browsing or removing. And right here we have in the more information, more attachments, where we can add any attachment we want to display the date, the size, and the user who has made that exact attachment. So it's very important and it should be taken into consideration. This is regarding that. Let's minimize this. So as we can see here, this is the first step to do that. Now, in order to see where exactly is it located, basically all we have to do is to go to the accounting. In the accounting, basically, this is located, the inventory item is located in so many different places right here. So as we see here in the cash payment, in the check payment, of course, it can be added. As we know, also in the manufacturing, so this part, it contains the items, and the inventory is right here. As we can see, we have the stock issue voucher, SIV, SRV. So this is where inventory is located in the accounting module. So we can create, for example, a stock issue voucher, as we can see here. And from here, you can see that in the items, we can choose whatever item we want. Basically, we can choose the item required. Basically, this is one way where items is located. Also, in the accounting, notice here that we have in the materials or service request. This is not very much like for coupons. This is not related to inventory. And in the comparing, also we have in the purchase order. This is really important that in the purchase order, as we can see here, notice that in the items tab, we can from here select what we want, basically. So this is linked with items and inventories as well. Very much linked and connected. Also, one more thing here. As we can see, we also have in the quotation part. So in the quotation as well, in the cash invoice, credit invoice, it's all easily located in there. So in the items as well, we can choose here what is the item we want regarding inventory item. As we can see, all of these are inventory items contained in the cash invoice. So many different places in the accounting depend on that. So in the manufacturing, in the inventory, manufacturing part, inventory part, of course, all the cash invoices, credit invoices, cash payments, all these different things. Same thing applies to contracting. So in the contracting also, this can be applied. So basically in the contracting as well, as we know, we can here go to contracting, and then we go to create BOQ estimate. After that, you will see that the estimate window will open. Then we go to the second tab, which is the BOQ material. And from here, from the BOQ item or material, as we know, it will show us a list of basically items right here, which includes, it could include material, it could include all the items required to be used and selected. So this is how it's linked right here in the BOQ item and material. This is how it's used. Let's click here. No, another thing in the accounting, I will just go briefly over the quotation. So when we go to create quotation, as we see here, we have in the items right here, we have the services part, we have the non-inventory part, and finally the inventory part. So also the inventory is also located and contained in the quotation part when creating a quotation. Same thing when we go here to the accounting, and then we go to inventory, and then we select the first one, which is the SIV, the stock issue voucher, and then we create the stock issue voucher. So as we know here, we can select the type required. It could be in quantity, it could be in total, or both of them. So when we do this, and we select the adjustment date, we select the items, as we see here, it will show us all the items, one of which is the inventory item part. So also this is how it's located. And notice also that it will automatically fill the rest of the row. It will automatically tell us the average cost, the value, everything. It will be displayed because it's reading live based on QuickBooks. Since it's integrated with accounting and QuickBooks, so it will be reading live, and it will show us all this information we're looking for. So this is a very important point. It is located also in the real estate. When we go to real estate, and from here we can see that we have so many different parts, one of which is the maintenance. So in the maintenance and the complaints maintenance, and when we create complaints maintenance, basically this is also another place where it's located in the real estate. Same thing in the fixed assets. So in the maintenance part of the fixed assets, we also have here the option to view the window which contains the inventory item part. So it's located in many different places, also in the general lists of the HR regarding the employee profile. This is another place where it's located. And finally, in the reports, as we can see here, we have so many different types of reports, one of which is the inventory reports. This will show us the item receipts, the delivery notes, the inventory adjustments, the stock movement, all of which, as I said, is based on all entries, all data that has previously been added to the system. It will automatically be reading, as we said, from QuickBooks, since it's integrated and live. We can see here that we have the market value, whether we want to view it in a summary form, a detailed view 1, and a detailed view 2. So this is very important. We can from here select the adjusting date, and we can select the year we want, basically whatever required, and then we can search. Of course, as we can see here, it will tell us and provide us with all the item names, the description, the item account, along with the information such as quantity in and quantity out, new quantity. So all are displayed right here. This is regarding the inventory adjustment. Same thing applies to the other parts as well in the inventory reports, where we can see the items receipts. From here, it will show us everything we're looking for depending on the date, of course, of filtering. So this is a very important point which should be taken into consideration. As you can see here, it showed us automatically all the information, all the results we are looking for regarding those items, and the accounts and the quantities and the costs and the amounts, VAT if used, and all. You can of course switch to Arabic at any time, and you can view all the other videos related to this part and the other parts also on our YouTube channel. You can see what's new to know the latest purchase, the latest release, the latest package which we have in Hinawi Software. So this was the video for today. I hope it was simple, easy, and straightforward. Please don't forget to watch our other videos, subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it with everyone interested in this module or any other module of this ERP system. And please don't hesitate to ask us in case you have any questions, inquiries, comments, or anything. Thank you.